Your phone buzzes in your pocket. Your heart jumps before you even look at it. You don't know who texted. You don't know what it says. But your body has already reacted like something is wrong. That's strange, isn't it? A vibration. Just a vibration. And yet somewhere inside you an alarm went off. You'd think evolution would have caught up by now. You'd think a species smart enough to build phones would be smart enough to not fear them. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain isn't broken. It's still running software built for a world that no longer exists. Think about the last time you felt a spike of dread for no clear reason. Maybe it was a strange noise in your house at night. Maybe it was an unread email from your boss. Maybe it was just a silence that lasted a little too long. Your chest tightened. Your thoughts sped up. Your body prepared for something. But what, exactly? Your ancestors knew the answer immediately. A rustle in the grass. A shadow crossing the tree line. A silence where birdsong should be. For nearly all of human history, those signals meant one thing. Something is hunting you. And the humans who survived long enough to have children were the ones who reacted first and thought later. You are descended from the anxious ones, not the calm ones. The anxious ones. This is where the story gets interesting. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux spent decades studying a small almond-shaped structure buried deep in your brain called the amygdala. He discovered that this structure can trigger a full-body alarm before your conscious mind even understands what it's responding to. Fear, in other words, doesn't wait for facts. It reacts first. It explains later. Your ancestors on the savannah needed exactly that shortcut. Waiting to be sure the shape in the grass was a lion instead of just wind would get you killed. Reacting first and confirming later, that survived. Even when it was sometimes wrong. You still carry that shortcut today. It just misfires constantly now because the modern world is full of things shaped like threats, but empty of any actual danger. An email from your boss isn't a lion, but your amygdala doesn't know the difference. It fires the same alarm bells it would if you'd spotted movement in tall grass. Cortisol floods your bloodstream. Your muscles tense. Your thoughts narrow. All of that for a message that says, "Can we talk tomorrow?" Why would your body do this to you? Evolutionary psychiatrist Randolph Nesse has an answer that reframes the entire problem. He compares your fear response to a smoke detector. A good smoke detector isn't tuned to be accurate. It's tuned to be paranoid. It will go off from burnt toast 100 times in exchange for catching one real fire. A missed fire could kill you. A false alarm just annoys you. Evolution built your fear system the exact same way. It would rather have you flinch at 1,000 harmless shadows than miss the one shadow that was real. From nature's perspective, a false alarm costs you almost nothing. A missed threat costs you everything. So your anxiety isn't a flaw in the system. It is the system working exactly as designed. It was built by 100,000 years of predators, and it never got the memo that most of those predators are gone. But it's not just predators your ancestors had to fear. It was each other. For most of human history, you didn't survive alone. You survived in a small group of maybe 30 to 50 people, and your standing within that group determined whether you ate, whether you were protected, whether you found a mate at all. Being cast out of the group wasn't an inconvenience, it was often a death sentence. No claws, no fangs, no fur thick enough to survive a cold night alone, just you, against a world built to kill unprotected humans quickly. This is why a certain kind of modern moment feels disproportionately terrifying. Public speaking, waiting for someone to reply to a text, wondering if a friend is upset with you. None of these threaten your body, but they light up the same ancient circuitry that once monitored your standing in the tribe. Being ignored online can trigger something eerily similar to the ancient fear of exile. Researcher Robert Sapolsky, who spent years studying stress in wild baboons, found something remarkable. Zebras get stressed for exactly as long as the lion is chasing them, and then their body returns to calm the moment the danger passes. Humans are different. You can trigger that same stress response just by imagining the lion, replaying an awkward conversation, rehearsing a fight that hasn't happened yet, worrying about a threat that exists only as a thought. Your body cannot tell the difference between an actual threat and a vividly imagined one. It reacts to both the same way. This means you are capable of hunting yourself over and over, with nothing but your own mind. So why does this matter to you now, scrolling through a world with almost no lions left in it? Because you were built for scarce, brief danger, and you now live inside constant, ambient danger. A news alert that flashes a disaster from the other side of the planet, a notification that might be bad news, an algorithm that shows you outrage because outrage keeps your ancient alarm system engaged, and an engaged alarm system keeps you watching. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed by this. You are ancient hardware running in an environment it was never designed for. Here is the twist nobody tells you. This system that feels like your enemy was actually the reason you exist at all. Every single one of your ancestors, going back tens of thousands of generations, survived long enough to reproduce partly because their fear system worked. The version of the fear response that felt too intense, too paranoid, too exhausting, that is the version that got passed down. The calm ones, the ones who waited to be sure before reacting, many of them simply didn't make it. Your anxiety is, in a strange way, a kind of inheritance. Uncomfortable, yes. Exhausting, often, but also proof that an unbroken line of humans before you reacted quickly enough, worried enough, stayed alert enough to make it to the next generation. You are the end result of 10,000 generations of successful worry. That doesn't mean you have to live inside every alarm your brain sounds. Understanding where the system came from gives you something powerful, the ability to question it. The next time your chest tightens over an unread message, you can recognize what's actually happening. Ancient software, misreading modern input. Not a lion, just a notification. Not exile from the tribe, just silence from one person for one afternoon. You can't turn the alarm system off completely, and you probably wouldn't want to. It's still useful. It still protects you from real danger when real danger appears. But you can learn to ask it a simple question before believing it completely. Is this actually a threat? Or does it just look like one to a brain still scanning the grass for movement? Tonight, when your phone buzzes again and your chest tightens before you even glance at the screen, remember what's really happening. That jolt isn't proof that something is wrong. It's proof that something ancient inside you is still standing guard, keeping watch for a lion that stopped hunting your ancestors a very long time ago.